a little bit modest on the court, but I tell you, when he's minded, he's very, very special. And the motivation is certainly here in Jakarta at the moment to put on a fantastic show. And above all, the Axiata Cup is actually, although we're not necessarily looking at all the top players in the world rankings, we are certainly looking at the youngsters, Huang, Chao particularly, and the more established players like Kuncoro, and we are mixing and matching them up, and they're providing great competition and very, very keen interest. There's Kuncoro, again 28 years old, just like the two previous Indonesian players we saw. He's a strong player with big height as well, but look at that ranking, 164. Huang Chao should not get anywhere close to Kuncoro. But that is the theory. In practice, it's not going to be that way. I'm sure that Huang Chao will put up a big fight, a big battle on his day in the spotlight. We've got the cheerleaders and we've got everybody really giving this a great atmosphere. And their beautiful batiks as well. It's wonderful. We love Jakarta. Well,
okay, ready.
Next weekend, of course, is semi-finals time, and then the finals themselves 2 weeks after that, 2 weekends after that. There's Teo Kian-chu, the umpire for this one. He's assisted by Manit. Chao Kong, the service judge. Teo Kian-chu from Malaysia, of course. There's Manit. But if you get this kind of atmosphere in a preliminary of a competition, just imagine what it's going to be like when the semis and the finals come around. It's going to be sensational. Huang Chao looking very determined. I will never forget the Axiata Senayan at Thomas Cup time. I remember working with Jill Clark at that time, and we couldn't leave our seats for about 7 hours. There was no way to get down through the crowd. Unbelievable. The water bottles were splashing water all over us because it was so hot. It was so atmospheric, amazing. It was a few years ago now, but it was something I will treasure in terms of a memory. I have to say, this Axiata Cup format, based on the Thomas Cup format, is building up to a similar kind of atmosphere. It is sensational.
On my right, Indonesia Garuda, represented by Sony Kuncoro. And on my left, Singapore, represented by Huang Chao.
So the introductions have been made. Huang Chao will serve it. Sony Kuncoro receive. Just wide. Another good call. Huang Chao looked back at the line judge and said, "Oh, come on, please, that was gone." 1-0. Nice work. Great work. Kuncoro is going to have to watch out, because I can tell you now, Huang Chao has got nothing to lose. 161 in the world rankings. He just should not get anywhere near Kuncoro. That's gone.
Service over.
So Kuncoro 1-2, born in Surabaya, July the 7th, 1984. So he is 28. Highest ranking in the world was 3. That was back in 2004, 8 years ago. He's got a current ranking of 68. He has been suffering from injuries of late. Was the singles champion in Asia in 2002, 2003, and in 2005. He was silver medalist in the World Championship in 2007 in Kuala Lumpur. You'll remember that one against Lin Dan, I'm sure. That's great play from Chao.
4-1.
Putting up a really, really good show. The most recent victory for Sony Kuncoro was in 2010 in the Singapore Leaning Open Super Series. Great retrieving, both players. Wow. What a rally. Big punishing smash from Kuncoro to finish it off, but that was a very, very punishing rally in terms of fitness level, stretching and moving. That was the final moment there, but wow, what a rally. 2-4. It's in, great shot and deep, and he's won a couple of points in that corner. Huang definitely needs to learn from that. There's a little bit of vulnerability in that back forehand corner. Maybe it's something that Sony Kuncoro is a little bit worried about, and he has learned. He's put it there again. Great work from Chao at the start of this matchup, 6-2. Yep, too strong. He was moving his opponent around all over the court. Found a vulnerable open part down the line. That was good. Yeah, a little bit too much power there as Chao looks at his racket and thinks, oh, how did I miss that? Wide. He's just got to try and keep his consistency moving. 4-6. That is a great shot. Brilliant placement, but what about the power? Kuncoro, no chance. 7-4. Indonesia's top singles player, of course, at the moment is Simon Santoso, is ranked 9 in the world. Kuncoro ranked in the 60s, so he's dropped off the pace a lot with injury and illness. He's still got the innate ability, but whether he's got the fitness levels is another matter. Chao really pressing him at the moment at 8-4. Yeah, good work. 9-4. And I tell you what, Kuncoro's head is down a little bit. He's not looking at ease, and Chao's got the kind of game which is a more bulldog kind of attitude. He really gets in your face. He's aggressive. He comes to the net as often as he can. He's punishing with his smashes. Certainly very aggressive kind of player. There you go. That's exactly what I mean, but what a response. Wow. Kuncoro with reflex Plays it back after it looked for all the world behind him. And that's what I mean by innate ability. You can't teach that. That is totally reflex and natural. 5-9. Into the face.
6-9.
Just when you think he's going off the pace a little bit, he comes up with an excellent shot. It's just gone, well read. We're not seeing many shuttles go long at that side of the court. Most of them with difficulty are down this side. As we see the Yonex banner there, proudly displayed all around the court. And of course, that was a bad decision.
8-9.
I'm not absolutely certain about that. There's a little bit of a grimace from Huang Chao as he missed it. But let's have a look at this again. I didn't quite get it either. Well, I'm not going to be criticising the line judges. They had a split second to look at it, and the angle there, not certain, but the call was made, and the score was given, and that's all that matters. 9-all. Yeah, good drop.
10-9.
What you must remember is it's not just the effect that we see the result of the shot, it's what happens prior to it. It's all the dummy movement and the eyes and the head and the whole structure of the body prior to the shot. You shape up to play the smash and you beautifully drop it.
11-9.
It's a fantastic skill. 11-9 in favour of Indonesia, Sony Kuncoro. He was under the cosh a little bit earlier in that game. Huang Chao was very aggressive and actually came through strongly, but he's now got a lot of work to do to stay in this match. Kuncoro is just feeling the pace a little bit. It's not that warm in here. In fact, I was thinking how good the temperature was, so he's obviously being pushed very hard. That was the contentious point. That is the brilliant one that I made reference to in terms of dummies and feints and pretense. And basically, outrageous lying, you might say, on court. I say it looks as if I'm going to do such and such, and I do exactly the opposite. It's a great, great shot. 11-9. That is another fabulous shot. Beautiful point. 10-11. And Huang Chao started out the match exactly that way. He was very, very aggressive. And you have a look at his footwork. I can tell you now, Huang Chao puts twice as many paces into the game as Kuncoro. You have a look at the footwork. He is definitely very, very busy with his feet. Kuncoro slides around the court. He's economy of movement. There's more pride in the way he moves, but Kuncoro is not as aggressive. That is really excellent play from Huang Chao. 11-all. That's exactly the way he's got to play this man. Come into his face. Maybe exercising a little bit too much, but he's got to try and finish it early. He doesn't want the rallies to continue. He won't have the energy to go to three. Not at that pace, anyway. That's a real shame.
It's over. 12-11.
Well, if I was coaching right now, Huang Chao, I would say, get close, hammer it where you can, keep pressure on, and try to stop those rallies as early as you can. Otherwise, you're going to get cleaned up by this very clever player, Kuncoro. 13-11. That's a great net play. 12-13. Potentially the best shot in the book when it pitches on the opposite side of the net cord and just tips over. The incessant horns and the noise fills this Senayan tennis center here in Jakarta. The Axiata Cup is alive and kicking at the moment. Second day of competition. Indonesia have already taken this tie against Singapore. This is the third matchup. Sony Kuncoro against Huang Chao. And I have to say that every single time we come here, more and more impressed by the atmosphere and the determination of the players, showing us a really, really good skill level. Now, suddenly, since the break when it was 11-9 to Indonesia, Singapore through Huang Chao has come through strongly and now taken the lead, 14-13. Well left.
Service over, 14-all.
Yeah, too good. Kuncoro, that's the old Kuncoro that we used to see really frightening his opponents. Simon Santosa, of course, who's now the top-ranked singles player in Indonesia, succumbed to that kind of brilliant net play in the Indonesian Super Series. That was the one that ultimately, at Istora Senayan, Kuncoro won it. Losing out to Santosa lost out to Kuncoro 19-21, 21-14, 21-9 on that occasion. It's called good. In fact, it was touched as it went out. Yeah, just a little flick of the feather. Even when he's going backwards and a little bit off balance, he's got a very, very good, solid, strong jump smash. It's very impressive. It's energy sapping, of course. It's very, very tiring. Now, are you on to Axiata Cup? Maybe you should be. www.axiatacup.com. That's easy to remember, isn't it? Good work. That's an excellent piece of play by Huang Chao. He was going to play it cross court, played it down the line after playing the dummy. 16-all. This is a good matchup. Former world number 3 playing against the world ranked 161. It shouldn't be a match, should it? I think Kuncoro heard me.
16.
Yeah, that's really big, two big forehands,
16.
two big smashes. As he didn't like being at 16-all, that's for sure. He's now got the ascendancy and he'll probably play a little bit clever now at the net. There you go. There you go. Absolutely superb. Absolutely as predicted.
16.
Couple of power plays just to put his opponent back on his heels, and then coming in with some superb net play for 19-16, and suddenly the match has been turned on its head again. That was in, and that's 20-16. It touched the net, but it went into play, and that's allowed. So game point to Sony Kuncoro of Indonesia. Long service, we haven't seen that very much.
Service over. 17.
I don't think we'll see it often again against Huang Chao. He's quite dynamic. 17-20. 3 game points to Kuncoro. Great recovery. Oh, wow. Short at the net at 18-20. Yeah, it's not absolutely done and dusted yet, is it? This is a great performance from Huang Chao. He's being very resolute. For the whole of the Singapore squad, this has been a brilliant opportunity to showcase their talents. Gananza played well against Taufik. Yo and Liu ultimately went down to Senayan and Kido, but they showed great resilience in the first in particular.
19.
Well, can you believe it? Kuncoro under pressure here. Come on, shout at me. Is he going to succumb? Will Huang Chao come back and force the juice? Tell me now, quickly. No is the answer. 21-19. Kuncoro takes the first game in a really interesting matchup. Huang Chao was an aggressive style, came through very strongly on many of the points, but the experience of Sony Kuncoro, the former number 3 in the world, just comes through in the end, and it will be an important win, despite the fact that Indonesia have already taken the tie. If there is any doubt about who goes into the semi-finals, and the number of matches won will actually come to count. 21-19 in the first, Kuncoro, Indonesia. Advertisements around there. You can see the Sultan Hotel. It's been the home for many occasions for the badminton fraternity. It's on the edge of Senayan Park, I suppose you could call it, and has really been a great contributor to badminton over the years. The Indonesian Open coming down to work at the Istora Senayan. It's a great hotel, and the people there make up a really good and very welcoming group of people, I tell you. I love to come down to the Sultan.
Play.
Okay, second game. Third tie-up. Out. Yeah. An expression of anguish. It wasn't even close, was it? Love 2. That's better. Yeah. Showing a lot more patience there, but he's still got to keep that aggressive perspective, and he followed it up beautifully. There he goes. Comes in very nicely, anticipates that shuttle coming up, high, and that's a lovely replay of Huang Chao in action. Yeah, good point at the net for 2-all. Cellcom and Dialogue, and is that Robbie there? Again, some of the brand names attached to Axiata. Of course, a high-tech advertising hoarding, as you'd expect from one of Asia's largest telecom companies based in Malaysia, but with expansion ambitions beyond. And still they continue to show us great atmosphere and great cheering and support. It really makes a huge difference to an event when you've got an atmosphere. I mean, this is actually a dead rubber match almost, but there's still a lot of good things to admire. That's long.
5-2.
Oh, you beauty.
6.
That's outrageous. Kuncoro. The Indonesians have a real reputation for style and for real cool play. That was fantastic. Taufik likes to do it with style. He doesn't like to be rushed. Actually, Hafiz is a bit like that, isn't he? Again, it's a little bit too...
7-2.
It's aggressive for sure, but you've got to keep the control, and this was definitely out of control. He was not in good position to play that, had to rush backwards. Stardom young mum. Another Taufik in the making. Oh, again, another fabulous shot. Left it right until the last as we see another Jakarta youngster appreciating how good a game this badminton is. Fantastic shot for 8-2. This is a brilliant rally. Oh, what a shame. It comes out to the cursed line here, closest to me. But that was a fantastic rally. There was a huge amount of brilliant expertise and talent shown at the net and then at the baseline, some great accuracy. It's a shame it finished on an error like that, but it's 9-2, Kuncoro sailing away into the distance here. And now at 10-2.
10-2.
Oh, I love my dad. And she knew the camera was there. That was an extraordinary get on the backhand. Wow, we go to the break at 11-2, and Kuncoro, although he's been under a little bit of pressure, Huang Chao has been very busy and very aggressive and rushing everywhere. He just came up with a big one, but just look at that, absolutely brilliant retrieving on the backhand. Again, it's all innate. Amazing reflex. You can see how far back from the outsides this court is set. You really feel quite lonely out there. There's nothing that you can put a marker to. It really is the center of the auditorium. It's a hugely high ceiling. And it's a very wide perspective that these guys are having to cope with. It's no wonder they're making a few errors on the lines. Oh yes, well played, Huang Chao. Again, he really is very competitive. Perfect net play. Yeah, there is no big screen here in the stadium, but she knows she's live on TV. Oh no, outrageous play from Kuncoro. The forehand, it was a magnificent piece of play, flat over the net, dropping dead. How on earth did he get it to that position? Instinct. And again, a wild thing.
13-3.
Oh, I've got new teeth too. Well, it's all drifting to an inevitable conclusion here at 14 points to 3, having taken the first. It's just short, but Kuncoro is showing it actually a little bit of showboating. We've seen 3 shots in the last 5 or 6 points that have just been absolutely stunning. He's done it again. Reflex, anticipation, and brilliant badminton brain. 15-4 actually. Huang Chao, with his approach, coming to the net like that very aggressively, taking it early, expected that shuttle to go to ground on his opponent's side. It didn't. No, that's not great. That's the first error we've seen for quite a while from Kuncoro. 5-15. No, not this time. Reflex, but he didn't quite control it. A wrong angle on the racket head. Well, still the music, the beat, and the horns continue, but the intensity is definitely drifted away from this match. That's gone as well. 16-6.
Service over. 16-6.
Yeah, they're probably feeling pretty resolute at the moment, but you have to say the Singapore bench must be pretty proud with the performance of the boys they put on show here. Gonanza, Yo, Liu, and now here Huang Chao. They have fought really hard against all the odds. Just tell me, who is in control of this rally?
17.
It's just so obvious, isn't it? You're witnessing from outside, you're watching at home, and you can feel and see. Yeah, we're going to get a towel down time here. You can feel and see every time the shuttle is played. Kuncoro just has that extra bit of time. Marcus Kido looks on. He knows that this one is in the bag already. In fact, his team up with Senayan gave them the 2-0 lead anyway in this match. Every time it goes into a rally, Kuncoro looks to be in control.
play.
Oh, and another great shot. That is superb. He left the actual playing of the shuttle until right at the last moment, the last fraction of a second. Chao was expecting something else, yet he was only 2 meters away from him. And that's gone. 19 points to 6. This has been absolutely demolition time. The executioner's axe is being raised at the moment, and that one's out as well. So 20 points to 6. And Chao's head is down on the block. He's just about to lose it here at 20 points to 6 in the second game. That's out, I think. Yeah, that's it. That's the game. That's the match. And at 21 points to 6 in the second, it was a very, very impressive performance by Sony Kuncoro. He has beaten Chao of Singapore, who put up a really, really good battle. But once Kuncoro got into his rhythm, once he got into the comfort zone, and certainly into moving around the court with such great style, it was so impressive. Indonesia Garuda, one of the favourites for the Axiata Cup 2012, moved through very easily towards a semi-final place. They have beaten Singapore by 3 matches to 0, and certainly will be clear favourites to continue that tomorrow, when they will be matched up against Malaysia Leopards. Well, congratulations Indonesia Garuda, too powerful for Singapore, but they still got Malaysia tomorrow to decide who's going to top that championship table in Group J. Malaysia Leopards will be coming up in just a while to play against Vietnam. I hope you can stay with us for that. Still today in the Axiata Cup, we've got Malaysia Tigers, the A squad, versus Thailand, and Indonesia Rajawali versus the Philippines. That will be in Kuala Lumpur later on. So still only a quarter of the Axiata Cup completed today so far on this first weekend of the preliminary event. I hope you're enjoying Axiata Cup. I certainly am.